Elmwood Cemetery, Detroit. One of Michigan's most important historic cemeteries. It's the oldest continuously operating non-denominational cemetery in the area, or in Michigan. So the cemetery was dedicated in October of 1846 as a rural cemetery. But the first burial occurred 3 weeks prior to the dedication. It's 86 acres in size, having expanded from its original 42, although slightly less now, due to half of an acre since being used to establish Michigan's oldest Jewish cemetery. And I can't talk today. I'm full of cold, a sore throat, and I can't speak. It was the first racially integrated cemetery in the Midwest and is a short distance from downtown Detroit. I haven't come here to see any particular graves, so I thought we could have a wander around and see what we can see. Let's go. I know there's loads of prominent people buried here. Congressmen and women, mayors, soldiers, music, sports stars, and other notable graves. But let's go and have a little wander around. There you go, some history. Oh, interesting. This is interesting. Some really beautiful grave markers. That one's Denise. It's very recent, so I won't dwell on the marker, but it's very beautiful. It's David Stewart, born in Scotland. 1765, died 1853. Looks like John Stewart. Master US Navy, Mexican War, March 6th, 1822, October 27th, 1853. It's quite a strange layout, this cemetery. I mean, it's nice. It's strange and just like if you have a whole group of stuff together. So obviously the Brush family, maybe. Very interesting. Wow. Helen Webster, she died in 2019. Miss Motor City, 1959. Dr. Helen. Wow. quite know what's going on over here, but it's turned up. Building a new road, maybe. Dr. LG Rose. It's really lovely. No tears in heaven. Oh, infant child, Nancy Jane. Palm. It's kind of cool. Squirrel patches. I do love these. They look very gothic, don't they? I just love the colour of the stone, or the colour it's gone. All shapes and sizes. So big and imposing. I love this layout, the way it's laid out here. It's a big family plot. So we saw the Firemen Association plot at Mount Elliot, and this is the one at Elmwood. So the Firemen Association, basically they bought out a massive plot, this cemetery and the other one, just to make cheaper funeral costs for firemen. Basically so many here. So this memorial was the first one to go up, and then they put the one in Mount Elliot. So lovely. But you can see the size of the plot where the fire hydrants are. The other one's over there. It's lovely. If a plot can be lovely, of course, but I think this is. It's the Melcher family plot. I like these layouts. The whole family together. There's hardly anybody. I haven't seen a soul. A couple of ground workers, and that's about it. That's the other side of that churned up bit. This one kind of reminds me of a Hobbit house, you know, in Harry Potter, no, in the Lord of the Rings, all set into the embankment there. Wow. Wow. That's big. So this beautiful mausoleum is the final resting place of Irma Henderson. And Irma was a politician, social activist, executive director of the Equal Justice Council, the first African American to serve on the Detroit City Council in 1972, and was elected the council president in 1977. She went on to serve 16 years, 12 of these years as council president ended in 1989. And as a member of the council, she fought for equal rights regarding discriminatory loan and insurance practices called redlining. So redlining is where minority recipients were given less favourable rates, terms and conditions. So in 1975, she organised the Michigan statewide coalition against redlining, and this led to comprehensive state legislation outlawing the practice. She also organised the unprecedented 1982 Continental African Chamber of Commerce, Michigan Chapter's International Trade Conference. The event lasted 4 days and brought together ambassadors of finance from 23 African nations. I mean, I'm summarising her achievements. She did so much more than I have mentioned. Irma lost her sight during the 90s, but she remained active in politics. She was also an author, writing her memoir. And in 1990, she was inducted into the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame. She's been described as a trailblazer in the civil rights and women's rights movement, and a school and a park have been named in her honour. Way to go, Irma. Irma Henderson. She was born 20th of August 1917, and she died the 14th of December 2009. She was 92 years old. Nice one, Irma. This is a lovely little area. So nice. watching me, that one. He's watching me. Yeah, you want to walk away. I'm not going to hurt you, am I? I'm just looking at you. How lush is this? Pretty. Can't make that out. So there's something stuck on there, I guess. It's come off. Maybe not. I also quite like these metal section poles. They look quite good and last, other than those type there. So Elmwood's a lot bigger than Mount Elliott, and just up there is the gate or fence that separates the two. I've kind of walked pretty far around so far. So there's Mount Elliott, just across there where the gate is. But you can't get from one to the other, you have to walk from way over there all the way round the road. About, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile before you come to the entrance of Elmwood. So, graze all that side and everywhere else. And the grave that I wanted to see is all alone there. Strange. So this is Elizabeth Denison IV. Elizabeth was born enslaved on a farm along the Clinton River near Detroit. It's said that by the time that she died, she had become a barrier-breaking landowner, stockholder and philanthropist. So 5 years after escaping to Canada to gain her freedom, she returned to Michigan to work as a domestic servant for some prominent Detroiters, including Mayor Solomon Sibley and John Biddle, and through them she connected with distinguished bankers and politicians who helped her invest her wages. By 1825 she had earned enough to purchase a 48.5-acre piece of land in Pontiac that made her the first black woman in Michigan to own property. She went on to also buy stock in other plots of land, as well as in 2 local banks and a steamboat. When she died, she left £3,000 to construct St James Episcopal Church, and the church doors are painted red in her honour. Well done, Elizabeth, another woman who paved the way for others. I can imagine that life for her was not easy, but she made it. Elizabeth Denison IV. Yeah, she gained freedom from slavery. Yeah, she died 7th of August 1866. She was around about 79, 80 years old. Well done, Elizabeth. Rest in peace. I still don't understand why she's all alone here. But it is what it is, I guess. So this is Private James Old Father Robinson. He was born 21st of March 1753 in Maryland, USA. He died the 27th of March 1868 in Detroit. So Reverend James Robinson is the oldest person buried in the cemetery. He was an enslaved man born in 1753, as I said. He served in both the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. After fellow white soldiers who served with Robinson secured his freedom, he became licensed to preach and later became a minister. And his grave is decorated with special bronze markers for his heroism in both wars. He was 115 years old when he died. James Robinson, the hero. They're beautiful, look at them. Let's move that out of the way. Wow. That's lovely. Rest in peace, James. Thank you for your service. So this is the final resting place of Coleman Alexander Young. During World War II, Young served in the 477th Medium Bomber Group of the United States Army Air Forces as a second lieutenant, bombardier and navigator. And as a lieutenant in the 477th, Young played a role in the Freeman Field Mutiny. The Freeman Field Mutiny was a series of incidents at the Freeman Army Airfield, a United States Army Air Force base near Seymour in Indiana, in 1945. This was in which African American members of the 477th Bombardment Group attempted to integrate an all-white officers' club. The mutiny resulted in 162 separate arrests of black officers. 3 were court-martialed on minor charges. 1 was convicted. However, in 1995, the Air Force officially vindicated the actions of those officers, set aside the court-martial conviction, and removed letters of reprimand from the permanent files of 15 of the officers. The mutiny is generally regarded by historians as an important step towards full integration of the armed forces and as a model for later efforts to integrate public facilities through civil disobedience. And in November of 1973, Young became the first black mayor of Detroit, which it says on there. His election represented a major turning point in both the city's racial and political history. He served 5 terms as mayor, ending in 1993, and unfortunately health concerns caused him not to run again. He died from emphysema in 1997. Former President Jimmy Carter allegedly said Young was one of the greatest mayors our country has ever known. Coleman Alexander Young. Rest in peace, Coleman. Well done.